Kia ora whānau, and welcome to a belated episode of Get a Job and Get Healthy with Costas Enterprises. I am your host, Alex Costas. As always, if you want to get in touch with me, you can always contact me via email, doncostas@gmail.com. That's D-O-N for Nike, C-O-S-T-A-S @gmail.com. You can also contact me via my Twitter and also my Instagram @thekiwidon. Also want to give a massive welcome and shout out to the MetaMask NFT community. I told them about my podcast, and the founder he's made a separate channel just for my podcast, which is just crazy. Massive shout out to everyone that does listen from that community. You guys are all my whānau. For those that don't know, whānau is Māori for family, and I definitely feel that the NFT community at MetaMask is a community, exactly that, like a family. We do all care for each other and all that sort of fun stuff as well, which is really, really cool. So I know this episode is a little bit late. I do apologise for that. So what I thought I would do is, today is actually International Women's Day, and so I thought let's talk a little bit about, women in that respect. So I thought I'd share some of my experiences, what I'm going through. Before I do go on, I do also just want to give a shout out. I have said about the MetaMasks before. If you are wanting to get your own MetaMask, you can do that very shortly. They are actually entering public mint this weekend, the 12th, I believe. So 12th of March, 4 p.m. EST. I believe the mint price is going to be 0.08 ETH, which is basically a steal compared to what they're actually being valued at the moment. So yeah, get into that. You can join the Discord. I'll put the link in the description for the Discord, and yeah, anyone that wants to join it, just feel free to click that link, and we can make sure everyone gets in there. Now, you will hear sounds while I'm doing this. The funny thing about this podcast episode is I'm actually doing it on the way to pick up the COVID RATS tests, which is the rapid antigen tests that people can grab. The government has enabled a function where we can fill in a website and go and pick up some free tests. Otherwise, you have to pay, I believe it is between the value of $31 to up to about, close to $90 at other places. So yeah, it's better to go get them picked up now. So that's where I am now. So I am driving at the moment. I know I'm not supposed to be driving and talking and all that sort of fun stuff, but hey, what are you going to do? So yeah, that's why you're hearing sounds and stuff in the background. But let's talk about women. The reason why I wanted to talk about women is today is International Women's Day. I realise that it is not just to celebrate women, it is to celebrate excellence in women. It's also to celebrate, and acknowledge things like the gender pay cap and all that sort of stuff. And I'm not going to get into that sort of stuff. What I did want to sort of talk about really was basically just about how women have basically influenced my life. I suppose you could say I am a bit of a mama's boy in that respect. Like, I have a lot of love for my mother. I have cared for her for a long time. For those that don't know and are new to this episodes of podcasts, I basically have a very sick mother who has sort of mental health issues as well as physical health issues. So yeah, I deal with that as well as other issues myself. And so I've very much been influenced by her growing up. I lost my father when I was about 18 years old. So I have a bit of a way of listening to people, usually, and instead of actually, just taking one side, trying to look at both sides. So yeah, in a way, I feel like I'm in another life I could have been like a counsellor or something like it. At the very least, I've been told I could be a teacher, just because of my sort of supporting and understanding that I've got. And yeah, a lot of that is, a result of me growing up in the household that I grew up in, and having to deal with those sorts of things from my mother. So yeah, it's I suppose you could say it's one of those blessing and curse deals. But I specifically wanted to talk about how women have influenced me in the way of my personal life, my professional life, and all that sort of stuff as well. So yeah, let's get into it. So personal life, I've just talked about my mother, her sort of mannerisms and her ways have helped me make me the man I am today, and in some ways that has also hindered me in my ways. I have talked previously about my counselling and how I believe every person should get a counsellor. Even when you think you're okay, there are a lot of stuff out there that you don't know. And yeah, I used to talk a lot about with my counsellor, who was also a female, all the stuff that I basically was dealing with my mother. The next person that has really shaped and influenced me, especially in recent times, is, you probably guessed it, my partner. She is truly amazing, and has helped me grow quite a bit in the way of actually growing my knowledge, and also making me see that I am more than what I ever thought I could be. I have unfortunately spent a lot of my time, because I am a larger person, I didn't have the right self-confidence, and she has accepted me as I am, and at the same time has tried to see that I can be all I can be, but I can also work on myself as well. So yeah, that's been really, it was really hard to deal with first. I am a very stubborn person, usually, and she has helped me not be so stubborn when it comes to this sort of stuff, and actually realise that I am worth it. I am able to, be of value, not just to myself, but to the world, hence things like this podcast, and my websites. I did forget to mention my website before. If you want, you can go to costasenterprises.business.blog, and that will, take you to my website if you want to see that. And she is part of the reason that I set up that website. I always had found that I had an ability to write good CVs and resumes, cover letters, all that sort of stuff, because, I had to do it for my friends, I did it for myself, and so I sort of got a confidence boost from her about my writing, got a confidence boost about basically just being there and realising that I have stuff that I can contribute rather than keeping my voice hidden. Now, part of that is also, the counsellor did help me find my voice. I always had a big voice, but not to the degree that I suppose I should have had. And yeah, I think my partner has definitely helped me sort of reevaluate that voice and have that voice. So yeah, it's been amazing. As I've said, she's basically given me so much confidence in the way of me being able to actually acknowledge what I've gone through, as well as realise that I'm not in a bad space and I can, be, as I said, of value, that what I say does actually matter and can matter to others. So yeah, I feel really good about that, and yeah, she's been such a huge sort of influence on my life because of that. She is actually going back home, which is to Vietnam, so that's going to be really hard for me to deal with, because I will miss her very much. And I do want to make sure that, I see her. The next person I sort of want to acknowledge, the woman that has helped change my life, is obviously, I said her name, well, I didn't say her name before, but I said the counsellor. the counsellor has basically helped me deal with my emotions, deal with all of the problems that I had. I saw her for about a year, and yeah, well, sorry, no, not a year, more like 2 years. And then after that, I sort of moved in with my partner. Even though she was cheap for a counsellor, I needed to unfortunately stop seeing her because I just didn't have the money that's available. So yeah, it was less than ideal when I had to let her go, but she definitely did help me so much. Just dealing with all my stuff with mum. For those that don't know, I basically lived at home with my mum for a very long time, and because of that, I basically found it very hard to leave because she was sick. My father passed away, and I sort of took on that male role. So she helped me recognise that what my mother was doing was doing certain things that didn't help, and I was unable to get out of that. I have since got out of that, but yeah, it's definitely been an interesting one. But yeah, she's amazing, and I do actually every Christmas I still send her a text message as a thank you. Like, to me, she's like another mum. She was very caring, even though I was paying. She helped change my life, and when I started going through some really, really dark stuff, she basically helped me see the light. So yeah, I know it's not a very long time on the counsellor, but it is part of the reason why I am thankful to my friend who originally said, "Bro, you need to get some help," and I am thankful that the counsellor that I saw just basically was there for me. She was right for me. She was able to sort of help me do what I need to do, and yeah, I really feel that this sort of situation where if you do need to ask for help, don't be afraid. Like, always ask. She really did help me change my life, and I know that's mostly because of her counselling training, but the fact that her empathy as a woman, and I respond well to women in places of power and places of empathy. So yeah, I think she honestly helped me so much that she changed my life for it. And lastly, I want to sort of talk about. It's going to be so. I just said I like dealing with women in power. Now, that is not a sex thing. I am talking about completely, working for women, I find, is a lot easier than working for men. For some reason, every time I've worked for a man, I've always had a bad situation with them. I don't know if they feel threatened by me. I don't know what it is, but for some reason, it just hasn't worked out. And only about one time have I actually had a good experience with a guy as my manager, and that was because the guy was my friend. But even then, I didn't get what I should have got in the way of work, and I needed to be brought in a bit. But every other time, most times I've had females that have been amazing, and women have been amazing. There are sort of three massive ones that did help me see my life for the better, and one that is just my current manager, who is basically like, I've said this before to her face, I've said it to my co-workers, I will not get another boss like her. She is amazing. If she ever decides to leave, or if I ever leave, I know I will never, ever have someone that is so understanding of my situation, so supportive of my situation, and also supportive of me. Like there's no way I can fault her, like, at all. She is very humble. She doesn't take half the credit that she deserves, and I wish we could give her more. A truly amazing person that understands my learning style, understands the way I teach, and helps me with that, understands what I need help with, and is not afraid to sort of take the reins when needed, to direct me, because sometimes I do go off track, and she manages to sort of pull the reins back and bring me back into it, basically. Some women are just better bosses. There's no way around it. I'm not going to make it, seem like they haven't changed my life. Some of the women that I've had with have changed my life considerably, because of them just being there, being good bosses, being understanding, and actually listening, which is the hugest thing. Like, actually listening, and not just actively listening, but actually listening. So in my life and my career, and they have sort of helped me get there, and further my career, and also given me, one of them who wasn't really my boss for a very long time, literally one day, but she also has given me some major feedback, which basically launched my business, my recruitment, saying that I was the best person that she had ever had interviewed for, when I did my original job interview for the role that I'm doing now, and also explained why. And so that made me realize that I do want to actually pursue a career, even if it's a side hustle, in what I do with the recruitment stuff. Hence my my website and all the recruitment stuff on there, and also other earlier episodes of this podcast as well, where I talk about the recruitment stuff as well. But it's been a really, really interesting life when you look back and you reflect on what it is that you've been doing, and also the impact that women have. Now, I know they definitely do not get enough credit. I want to say a huge thank you, and I appreciate women in my life, my women friends that have helped me. Some of them have been so care, and even newer women friends who I haven't known as long as some of my other women friends have been caring and really just there for me, and helped me. So I want to thank all the women in my life that have helped give me meaning, have helped give me sense. I love you all, and as always, I think we'll probably end the podcast very shortly. I will say one last time, do not forget minting this March 12th, 4 p.m. EST. If you do want to get into NFTs, this is a great project to get into. You will not get it cheaper than 0.08 ETH at this stage. So I think if you can get into it, and come join us for the revolution, MetaMask's NFT. As I said, will put the Discord in my link, so that's my personal share invite. Come join, get signed up. It's a great community, and shout out to all the people that are listening. As always, I love you guys, and good luck.